Alright guys, Anthony here with SoFlo Style 194. This is a 2017 Honda Civic EX behind me. We're going to be going through some of the specifications, do a quick walk around the vehicle, and then at the end we're going to do a POV experience about how it feels to drive. Alright guys, so here's the car. It does come with 16-inch rims. It's 215/55 tires, square stance all the way around. It's a pearl white. It's a very good looking color for this car. This car does have tints. This is my personal vehicle. Just we'll do a walk around. Not a big fan of the rear end, but some people may think differently. Alright, so this is the EX trim level. The way it goes is there's an LX, which is the most basic model, then the EX, then the EXT, which is the same exact thing as the regular EX, only it has heated seats and the 1.5 liter turbo engine. This has the 2 liter, which we'll get to in a moment. This car does come with a technology package, so it has, once we get inside, you'll be able to see we have the touchscreen display, Apple CarPlay, etc., all the blind spot camera and all that. It does have a sunroof as well. And yeah, this is the color I picked. It's a clean color, even though the car is clean right now. I do have tints on the vehicle. It's 15% all the way around, and I think it just makes the car look a little meaner. And I think finally Honda decided to come out with this model car that actually looks pretty good. I mean, it looks a little aggressive from the front. Alright guys, here's the Earth Dreams, what they call it, Honda Civic technology. It does have VTEC. It's a 2 liter 4-cylinder, produces 158 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 138 pounds of torque available at 4,200 RPM. Now I know that those numbers do sound horrible performance-wise, but I can give you, it is adequate engine power for the available weight. The car only weighs 2,700 pounds, which in 2018 is actually extremely light. As cars get fatter, this car has managed to maintain a good power-to-weight ratio. It does also get extremely good fuel economy, which is the sole purpose of the vehicle. It does average 31 city, 40 on the highway. Alright, now we're going to move on to the trunk. One thing I didn't tell you, it does have a backup camera as standard on the EX model. So the cargo space is actually extremely large, especially for this class vehicle. It is 15.1 cubic square feet of space back in here. The spare is right under here. It has a donut-sized spare. And for added space, you hit these clips right here, one on each side, and it will drop the rear seats and give you significantly more room. I can fit up to an 8-foot fishing pole is what I've... Alright guys, now we're going to make our way into the vehicle. This is the key. It's just a key fob. It has keyless entry with EX trim level. You just come up to the car, hit the door, hear the beep, it does unlock, and here we go. So once you come inside, you notice it is actually a very sporty wheel. I was surprised. It's not wrapped in leather, but it's got nice 10-2 notches, 9-3 grip. Overall, very good steering wheel. Very surprising in a vehicle of this caliber. It does have push to start as well with the EX. It does have comfort package as well as the technology package. It gives you that big display. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, hold the brake, and it roars to life. Those are the gauges. Got a nice digital dash in the middle. Digital gauge. Fasten seatbelt, and okay. Does also have Apple CarPlay. Actually, I can turn. And it's loading. I have an iPhone 8. So you can control everything from here. You have your phone, you have your power, whatever music you're playing, text messages, GPS does go on here as well. Hit the main screen, opens up to the Apple CarPlay display menu. Very, very responsive. Got Pandora, Honda. Overall, a very good system. Now what's really, really cool is the blind spot camera. It's going to be on the passenger side mirror. I can control it with this little lever right here. Basically, I'm just going to press the button and it will show up in your middle screen there. It's actually a camera, like I said. It's very, very cool. have not seen this on any other vehicle other than Hondas themselves. Overall, I think it's very, very useful. And then also when you put your signal light, so now I'm going to go with my right signal light, it does show your blind spot camera as well. That's the 2 ways of activating it. Here's your controls for the AC. You can hit the climate button in the middle. It's all touch. Go up, go down. Very, very responsive. Very, very effective system. Go back to home. Go to audio. Again, and you go to your source, and that's how you decide. Apple CarPlay does have Bluetooth connectivity as well, USB, XM radio, FM, AM, standard, and an iPod. Cool feature is that the push the start button actually lights up red when the car's on. Very interesting. It's the sunroof. You can press the button up here. It goes open, it close, mirror, light. Got the USB ports everywhere. I have one USB port right here for charging, cigarette port on the other side, power outlet 12 volt right there, and right up in the center console here. This goes up. There's another USB port right in there, as well as cup holders. This car has so many cup holders. You have one in the center there, you have 2 more right here, you have one on either passenger and driver door right there, and it will fit a large water bottle in there. Standard glove compartment. Honda focuses on user friendliness. Very, very easy. Everything, everywhere you go is all very user friendly. Doesn't take many brains to figure this car out. Alright, it does have cruise control as standard, as well as all the mechanisms for the volume of the music, and to control through your menu in there. It's all controlled through the steering wheel. Right there's my average fuel economy. I don't know if you can see it there. It's 31.2. 6,500 miles. That's over the life of the car that I've had it. It has averaged 31.2 miles per gallon on regular 87 octane. Give it a few revs for the adrenaline boys. The horn. Not a fan of the horn, but it will let people know you're there. Let's go back outside. Alright, now we're going to demonstrate how much room is in the rear. This car did get bigger than the last generation Civic. I will give you specifications shortly, as I need to look them up. But I'm 5'11", and my seating position in the front is for someone who's 5'11". I'm going to just give you an idea of how much room there is. Got plenty of knee room. Very comfortable seats, believe it or not, surprisingly. And if you check up here, the headroom, I have at least 3 inches of headroom up here, and that's in this hatchback style design that hunches over. So they did a great addition of space in this car. This car has grown significantly since the last model. Alright, just for the hell of it, I'm going to give you guys an exhaust clip in the Alright, let me just show you the rear view camera. I'm going to go ahead and put it in reverse. There's your rear view camera. Daniela, a friend of mine, is standing there. But as you turn the steering wheel, it does adjust both left and right. There's center, and you can change the angle as well. You can get really up close to something by changing it to there. I'll leave it on the wide view. It does have an eco button. I'll go over that in the driving portion of this review, which is coming shortly. And an electronic e-brake. So, pull up, and the e-brake is on. Alright guys, gonna go ahead and turn it on and do the driving portion of this review. There it goes. Put the AC on low for volume purposes. We're going to put it in drive. And here we go. Car has electric power steering, very quick ratio. This car can turn on a dime, and surprisingly has a both sporty yet comfortable suspension. It soaks up bumps very well. I had a 2015 Mustang GT before this vehicle, and it did the same thing. It kind of reminds me of the way they drive very similarly. The Mustang was obviously the performance pack. It was a little stiffer, but the car masked bumps very, very well. It could ride amazing. Like, you know, you get all the best handling of a sports car, but it also, whenever you get some imperfections in the road, it just did a very good job of soaking them up. Suspension really working at its best there. Some bumps here. Oh, there's wildlife, raccoon. Just driving behind some warehouses for right now. We'll get on the road in a minute. But what really surprised me about this car is that although it doesn't have much power, it does handle surprisingly well. It's a momentum car, but once you push it around some corners, it really does perform like a lot better than any Civic I've ever remembered in the past. That's what brought me to buy the car. That and gas prices were going up like crazy, and I am a full-time student. But very refined, very quiet. We're going over bumps, it's soaking it up very well. I'm gonna head out onto the road now. There's the blind spot camera. One thing, outward visibility in this car was perfected. You really can see out of everywhere. There are almost no blind spots. It's Daniela, one of my best friends, decided to tag along my first video. It's got the digital display up front, shows your RPMs, 80 degrees currently here. Great visibility out of the rear view mirror as well. Turn here just to show. I mean, this is a single lane. I'm going to show you like how well the turning radius in this car is. A lot of sweat, man. 1.5 turns lock to lock, which is incredible. Very responsive overall. You tilt a little bit to the left and the car goes. I mean, great weight distribution as well, weighing in at 2,700 pounds again. One of the features I use the most in this car is the brake hold, which is right there above the electronic parking brake. And I'll show you what that does is it actually holds the brake, and so you can let it off once you're at a complete stop. So I'm going to activate it now. Brake hold system on standby. And basically when you're at a red light, this is a stop sign, but when you're at a red light and you make a complete stop, I can completely, there's zero, can take my foot off the brake and the car completely stops, and it holds the brake there for you until you give it some gas. Once you give it some gas, then you're off. Look at this guy running a stop sign. Good job. Amazing. Florida driving, guys. Florida driving. Everywhere. But that feature is amazing because I came from a manual car, my 2015 Mustang GT before, and just a little annoying, even for me. I don't know, I mean, you guys can deal with it, but for me it was a little annoying. Every time I would go to a stoplight, automatic cars tend to creep forward. Whereas when it's manual, you just put it in neutral and you kind of stay stationary. You're not going back or forward. If you start going back, you put the e-brake on. But with the brake hold, I can take my foot off the brake. It kind of gives you that manual feel, just a little more convenient. I find it very interesting, especially since I don't really find many cars who have it. I can't even think of one off the top of my head right now that has the brake hold feature. Alright guys, just for give you guys an idea, I'm going to do a little 0 to 60 pull here. There we go. The car's not going to be fast, but whatever, it's fun anyways. Foot to the floor. Takes a minute for the CVT to realize it's time to go. Once it gets going, it does make an interesting sound. There's 60 right there. I have no idea how long that took, but it seems like it took a millennium. It is definitely a momentum car. It's not very fast, but I will say once you do get going, because it is so lightweight, the 150 horsepower is sufficient. If you feel like you need any more power, this car does come with the SI trim level as well as the EXT, which is basically the same trim, just comes with the 1.5 liter turbo instead of the 2 liter. Though I have driven the 1.5, I will be doing a review on the 1.5 probably next. And it is significantly quicker, a lot more to do with low end torque than anything else. It just picks up speed a little quicker, it feels more responsive with the 1.5. However, it does burn a little significantly more gas. I did notice my friend has one and he's averaging about 27 miles per gallon, and he does mostly highway driving in that car, so that's something to note. Alright guys, there you have it. That was my review of my 2017 Honda Civic EX. I hope you enjoyed the review. This is actually my first review ever, so I'm sure I'll go back in the editing and here now and try to figure out exactly how to make this video even watchable, but it's exciting. It was fun. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you, and see you on the next one. Please subscribe.